Alright guys, welcome to another one of these little rambly, ranty sort of things. Thank you for the response that I got on the first one I did, which was talking about the sexist beer labels and that sort of thing, where I went off on plenty of tangents. And yeah, so it's Wednesday today? Yeah, Wednesday. Midweek little ramble, that sort of thing. And yeah, before I get into it, I hope you guys like the new logo or profile picture and the banner. It's not like a rebrand or anything like that. I was just in a creative mood yesterday and got my girlfriend to take a photo for me because I was trying to do it myself on a DSLR and it was just turning out absolutely horrendous. It was double chin central, let's leave it at that. And yeah, I just wanted to spruce things up a little bit. So yeah, that's that. And yeah, what else was I gonna say? Yeah, the same thing as last time. You have to excuse the noise outside. Same thing as last time. Not having anyone in on this chat. I save that sort of stuff when we do the group chats. I won't be too long. Yeah, fucking the building across the street, and they've got this thing that makes this buzzer sound, but I can't work out what it is, and it's so obnoxious. Yeah, so this isn't like a group discussion thing or anything like that, but I will be answering comments and that sort of thing. In fact, let me just quickly pull that up, actually, so then you can, so I could actually keep track of it, even though I've got no one watching right now. The thing about these live videos is they suit the purpose of you can record it, you can have interaction while you do it, but it's more for people watching it afterwards. And yeah, I look even paler than usual because it's daytime. So yeah, before I get into it, he says again, not having a beer this time because it's like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. And yeah, don't really want to drink during the day, to be honest. So I'm having a nice cup of coffee, but unfortunately I've got to start using lactose-free milk. It's like a little experiment because Jeannie thinks that I'm allergic to milk and dairy products because I have like a wet cough and yeah, I'm like bloated and stuff like that. You know, it's got nothing to do with the beer, I'm sure. So I've been trying like stuff like oat milk, coconut milk, that sort of thing, and now I'm having lactose-free milk, and it's okay. Thankfully, the coffee's got a nice flavour, so it's all good. But I will quickly show you a beer that I picked up today, which I've never seen in the flesh, and it's from probably, well, one of my all-time favourite German breweries, and it's the Augustiner Dunkel. There's a kitty there as well, and yeah, just saw this. Never seen it in the flesh before, which is strange because we're literally about an hour or so away from Munich, where I'm living now. And yeah, it's one of those things where if you see it, you pick it up. And I've made a rule for myself that next time I see the Augustiner Maximator, I'm picking up like 6 bottles of it and like cellaring 2 and then just having a whale of a time with the other ones. So yeah, on to the matter at hand. And just like last time, I probably won't make any points. I won't put an argument across. I've realised that I look so low on this table because it's like a really low, comfy chair on the desk. So it looks like I'm a dwarf. Yeah, not going to be citing any sources or anything like that. I'm just getting stuff that's been on my mind. And it's a great outlet to have something like this, just to broadcast it to the world. And yeah, so Brewdog. Where do we even begin with Brewdog? Of course, look how much they've evolved. They've got presence all over, pretty much all over the world now. Distribution links all over the world. They've got bars in Berlin, Sao Paulo, I think, as well. A few bars in the UK. They're now in America, and they're going to be opening a hotel, like a resort type thing. And yeah, the biggest thing that they've done recently is they've been taken over by an American assets company or something along those lines. Not like a brewery, although I think they own like part of Pabst as well. So naturally, the beer world were all up in arms about this. And the main point of this whole thing, which you can stop watching the video as soon as I say this, is I don't fucking care. I really do not fucking care. I don't have a stake in this industry. I don't work for a brewery. I don't work within the industry itself. I'm merely a consumer who just happens to do reviews of beer. And, you know, I do love brewing culture. I love the hobby. I love the people who I've met so far, or the contacts that I've made, the opportunities that I've had, the brewers and the breweries and the distributors and bottle shop owners who I've got into contact with. I mean, the guys here at Beretta. Yeah, I've got to know some really fantastic people, and it's one of those, it's constantly rewarding as it is evolving. So when I'm like seeing all these namby-pamby, whiny, whingy posts on like the various Facebook groups especially certain Facebook group, which I'm not going to mention, but I'm sure people who know me know who I am talking about, where, yeah, even the slightest mention of Brewdog, you're either going to get bombarded with like banter comments, or you're going to get like royally destroyed for no reason whatsoever. You know, it's like this whole supermarket beer thing. We're not allowed to apparently like the supermarkets being craft beer lovers. You know, it's apparently, you know, against what we should be about when we get craft beer from supermarkets. I, for one, see positives to it. It's distribution for the breweries. It's distribution for lesser known and small breweries. And it means better, more affordable options for the consumer. I mean, yeah, I can go to bottle shops and buy the more unique, harder to find stuff and pay the prices that come with that. But I can also, at the same time, go to a local supermarket, whatever shop, discounter, wherever, and try some, you know, genuinely fantastic beers. I've had some great experiences with beers that I've picked up in supermarkets. And of course, Brewdog. You know, I'm repping the Dead Pony Club shirt. Brewdog have a big presence in the supermarket. I mean, they used to brew, I think, do they still technically brew it for Tesco's? Or is it just they've now put the, what was it called? It was initially called like the American IPA, I think it was, which was like the Jackhammer. And it's like part of like the Tesco Selects range or whatever. And now they've replaced it with Mr. President. So I don't know. I don't think that's just exclusively for Tesco's and stuff. And you find some really intriguing beers. Like they had the pumpkin beer that they did for like 99p in the Tesco's. Unfortunately, when I'm not in England, you can pick up like Tropic Thunder. You can pick up like the 4 packs of Elvis Juice, which is just a beautiful beer. You know, you can pick up some really intriguing Brewdog beers that aren't just core releases, core range beers. And I like that. I like the fact that I can pick up a 4-pack for £6, and that's my beers for the night sorted. I don't really see the negatives. Yeah, you do get that. Like, are you getting a fresh bottle? Is the quality of the stuff going to the supermarkets equal to the stuff that is brewed and bought from within the brewery or select bottle shops, that sort of thing? And yeah, I know I need a haircut. It's terrible. I can see the downsides to it, but I've had more of a positive experience with the supermarkets. And when I'm back in the UK, I'm only there for like 1 to 2 weeks at a time. So the fact that I've got all this range at me of these beers that I just can't get here in Germany, and if I can get them, I'm paying like 2, 3, even 4 times as much for it. Yeah, I'm going to lap that shit up. I'm going to really enjoy having a look around. So we've got 2 viewers so far. And surprise, surprise, Paul over at Pay Brew News is commenting. Live chaos. Availability at a good price is a good thing indeed. Yes, it is. I can't agree more. God, I'm rambling already, and I've got to be offline because the girlfriend will be home soon from uni. And yeah, these never pan out the way I want them to. Say that it's the second one that I've done. So yeah, I'm under no illusions that Brewdog are an amazing, fantastic, mind-blowing brewery. I think they're a consistent brewery. They're a brewery that I go to time and time again. The Elvis juice is probably my favorite grapefruit-infused IPA, and until I find another one that's better, I'll say that. But the fact that I can get it for so cheap and it tastes really nice, why would I criticize them for it? But I'm not a fanboy of the Dead Pony Club. He says as he's wearing not fanboy of Brewdog. I'm not a fanboy really of any brewery. It's like politics. I'm neither left nor right. I'm centralist, and I think with my brain and not with what I'm supposed to think because of my where I come from, my background, my ethical background, that sort of thing. Like this whole stuff with what's happened back in the UK with the general election, and a lot of the people, like friends from back in the UK and family members, are saying, "Oh, we have to vote for Labour. We have to vote for Jeremy Corbyn because we're working class." And it's like, no, you don't. There's plenty wrong with Labour. Diane Abbott, what a fucking oaf of a person. And not just because of this this police figures thing. She's just a fucking idiot. And she's a dangerous person. She doesn't think, and she's just one of these people who reacts emotionally. She's narcissistic, and she's a dangerous woman. And if you give people like that power, then they're gonna do something ridiculous and scary. And I think the Labour Party, unfortunately, is full of people like that. Politics in general is full of that. Any social movement that you come across really is just, it gets invaded by idealistic and moronic people, and it turns what should be a good thing, like feminism. That was an important thing and a good thing, but it's just been taken over by fucking morons who think with their heart as opposed to just taking it, stepping back, reflecting, looking around them, and thinking with the brain. We're in that. I think I touched upon this last time. We're in a society where it's trigger happy. You see something you don't like, instead of tackling it in a mature manner, you're gonna go and bombard Facebook, Twitter, and even use acts of violence because you can't register it in your brain properly and you can't give a mature response. And I'm seeing that with all this Brewdog stuff. Very smoothly brought that back on point there. And I was going to say, I'm sorry if I've offended anyone of that political stuff, but no, I'm not. I'm not going to apologise. I don't know if I'm going to be voting this year. I don't know if it's too late for me to sign up. But if I were to vote, I would probably vote for Labour because I think Jeremy Corbyn, as much as I find him too idealistic, as much as I find the fact that he pulls these figures out of nowhere, it's all well and good you want to raise the minimum wage, but where are you going to get that money from? And on top of all that, the NHS, it needs to be saved. I've got vested interest in that because I've got family and friends who work for the NHS, and they work in positions where they're so unfairly treated by the media. They're so unfairly treated by, the fucking drunks who are broken their legs on a Friday night because they've had one or two beers and they can't handle it, and then they hurl an abuse physically and mentally at the nurses and stuff like that. Britain is a fucking wreck, and we need to. Sorry, I'm rocking. We need to fix it. And I think out of what's on offer, I think Jeremy Corbyn is, it's the best of what we have. Plus, he seems like a genuinely nice and honest guy. So, yeah, I think I'd rather go for him. And there's comments which between Rob and Paul, a little bit of proper banter, none of that fucking bullshit banter on Facebook. Just Facebook. I don't know why I'm part of it. But that's just me. I'm a big flounce at the end of the day. So yeah, Brewdog. Back to Brewdog. Fuck's sake, Peter. Like I said, I'm under no illusions that they're a perfect brewery. There's a lot wrong with Brewdog. I do think they've gone back on what they were supposed to be about, but at the end of the day, that's what happens to punk bands, happens to the punk culture. Mainstream isn't inevitability. And if they hadn't have made the business decisions that they've done, they would have probably disbanded. They wouldn't have made it to 10 years. They would have finished, they crashed and burned. I mean, as far as I can see, they're still what you would technically class as a craft beer under those bullshit guidelines. Just the way I don't know, there's just things about this industry that piss me off. Maybe that's for another video, but you know, Punk IPA has changed from what I can gather. I hadn't drank Punk IPA. I think I started to get into craft beer just as they were, going through that change of the old labels and stuff like that. So I'm not in a position where I could say, oh yeah, this tastes vastly different to what it used to. I don't have that experience, so I can't make a claim like that. But I do think that Punk IPA has sort of changed over the past few years, but I think that's more down to my own palate at the end of the day. I mean, case in point, Dead Pony Club. That used to be my ultimate go-to Brewdog beer. It used to be the beer that I used to drink in the Brewdog bars and stuff like that. But upon revisiting it with a couple of the UK beer tubers, we came to the conclusion that it's in this climate, it's an okay beer. It's tasty. It's drinkable. Oh, it's more than drinkable. Yeah, it's a passable beer, and it's one of those ones where if you were, at a Brewdog bar on a hot summer's day and you wanted just a session strength hoppy beer, then that's the sort of beer that you go for. So it still has its place, but with my palate as it is, I drink Dead Pony Club now, and I'm like, yeah, it's all right. It's still a lot better than some of the session pale ales that I've had over the past few years. And I think one of the things that people have with this whole Brewdog is they have this mentality that Brewdog should be this. Apologies if you can hear that train. Brewdog should be this and nothing else. Doesn't matter if it's 2 years down the line or 20 years down the line. This is what Brewdog should be. And at the end of the day, yeah, they're one of the bigger boys in the industry, but the industry is an ever-growing thing. It's becoming a much more competitive and oversaturated, in some respects, market. So they've got to do what they can to not only just survive, but also to be one step ahead. And yeah, they've done stuff in the past where I'm like, that's fucking dickish. Like dropping beers from their bars and even ending collaborations and then still underhandedly releasing the beer after it's done and that sort of thing. And then there was this whole stuff with the bar in Birmingham, I think it was, which was apparently down to the lawyers. And I think that's one of the problems with it, with Brewdog, is they're so big that they have this corporate cell of lawyers, branding people. I mean, the labels for Brewdog I think are nice, but they do reek of marketing boardrooms. So yeah, I can see problems with Brewdog. I really can. But am I going to stop drinking their beers? Hell no. They've released so many good beers, or so many good sounding beers, that I can't get hold of here in Germany. Not even with Brewdog Mitte in Berlin, which I think would open up more distribution links. The stuff that we get in places like Beretta is pretty much the core range, to be honest. And it's at that point now where it's a lot better priced than it was 2 or 3 years ago. But it's I don't need to buy this when I'm back in the UK, I can buy the same beer, 4 cans or 4 bottles of the same beer for a much better price. You see, this is the problem with doing videos like this. I just go off on tangent after tangent after tangent, and there's no conclusion. There's just rant, ramble, and all sorts. It's just a way for me to clear my mind, to be honest. I'd probably make more concise points in the comments after the video than I would be actually trying to talk about this. But yeah, it's just this mentality from some people. Well, I can understand you don't want to drink their beers anymore. They've done stuff that you don't like, and that's it, isn't it? It's like if you don't like something, you don't contribute to it. You don't buy it. So with the labels last time, if you find a label to be offensive, don't buy the beer. Move on. Don't kick up a fuss about it. Don't kick up a stink or anything like that. If you're in the industry, I think you've got more of a right to talk about the business practice of the brewery. I mean, I know was it Verdant who had some trouble recently with Brewdog over like money owed from like an order that they'd done with Verdant or something along those lines. And people forget that it's a big business, so shit like that. I'm not defending Brewdog, blindly defending from it. I don't know if they resolved it quickly or whatever, but stuff gets lost in the process. Just like any company, a small brewery could do the same thing with the economic side and stuff like that. And it's just, I think people need to take a massive chill pill. If you still find the beer good from a brewery, drink it. If to your tastes it's lacking in quality, then don't drink it. But don't start kicking up a big fuss and spitting your craft beer dummy out because, oh no, Brewdog have sold out, they're not punks anymore. You name me any punk band going now that were going in the 70s who are still punk. I mean, The Stranglers, one of my all-time favourite bands, but, pretty much after Black and White, is that punk? Were they really even punk to begin with? But like The Clash, my favourite band of all time. Up until around London Calling, or just before London Calling, they were like aggressive punk, blah, blah, blah. They had this to say about stuff and that to say about stuff. But then, America got hold of them. Bigger labels wanted to get involved with them. They had a good product, the music. They had a good image. They spoke to people. They went big. Unfortunately, that didn't end well, did it? With the band falling out and disbanding. But I think we put too much value on this whole punk aesthetic and ideology. But that being said, we're living in a time not too dissimilar from what was happening in the 70s in the social and political climate. But we're the Facebook generation now, aren't we? Where instead of people, creating art and writing poetry, writing novels and stuff like that, they either take to social media and just fucking cry, or they take to the streets and smash things up. They either go the crybaby Facebook whiner or the dumb Antifa, let's smash stuff up, let's smash local businesses up, let's destroy this city, let's affect everyone else. It's just, what is going on with society? I think this is going to be a theme that will run through these videos, is it'll always go back to how society is just degenerated so much. But yeah, Brewdog, I like their beers. I'll still buy their beers. I don't care if they completely sold out. If they still make good beer, I'd fucking buy it. If one of my favourite beers, like Dead Pony Club, the quality went down low, I wouldn't buy it anymore. But I still think it's a somewhat decent, above-board session pale ale. It doesn't matter if the recipe's changed over time. It's just if I don't like a certain beer and it's from a brewery who I love, then I'm not going to buy that beer. I'll buy other beers from the brewery or other versions of that beer available from other breweries. But yeah, it's like with everything, really. You're going to get people on this side of it who are just attack. But at the same time, you're getting all the fanboys who are like, "Oh, Brewdog can do no wrong," and then you've got rational people. I like to think they're rational people like me who just think with their money, well, what money I have, and they think with their brain. They don't like take sides on like these debates or things like that. It's just, what does it achieve? Like, are you trying to send a message to Brewdog? Because I'm sure James doesn't give a flying fuck what you think. He's probably lapping it up, all of this free publicity that he gets from social media. You know, all the people crying, all the people fanboying at the same time. You're all playing into it. People don't realize that they should just stop buying Brewdog and just shut up about Brewdog if they want to make the point that they want to make. But the more you use that word Brewdog, the more you like use the hashtag Brewdog, the more you angrily tag Brewdog on Twitter, the more people are going to see that. The more people are going to get exposed to that product. And it doesn't matter how big or small they are. It's just, you're not doing anything with your attitude. You're just buying into the drama. And that's what Brewdog do really well. They play off the drama. They create drama. And it always helps. I don't think Brewdog have been hurt at all. They might have, like, the reputation slightly scratched, but there are still plenty of people, doesn't matter if they're craft beer snobs or people getting into craft beer, there are still plenty of people buying Brewdog beers. There's still plenty of people going to Brewdog bars. There are still plenty of people buying Brewdog merchandise. So yeah, it's like, it's just I don't know. I get so frustrated with myself because I'm not making any fucking sense in this video, and I apologize to anybody who's sitting through this. So, let's see. Got a nice little discussion going on in the comments, but it'll take me ages to read through it all. Craig asks, how many Dead Pony t-shirts do you have? I just have this one. I have quite little clothes here in Germany, so they're always washed really quickly. So you're either going to really see me wearing this t-shirt, my Clash t-shirt, or the Cod Goblin t-shirt. And Rob's bringing up some good points on this one. They are big and aspirational, and a company that wants to be opening bars all around the world and build hotels. They need the trappings of a large company. They look like lawyers and have to protect brands and assets. Exactly. But at the same time, they can't expect to be an artisan and authentic, which is a very good point. And that is one thing that I think Brewdog should stop talking about now. They should like keep it there, but they shouldn't start like ramming down this, oh, we're individual, we're, you know, we're this, we're that, we keep it to our roots, that sort of thing. I think if they stopped playing that up now, I don't think they can play that up as much as they do. They shouldn't, because, yeah, I said it's going to hurt the brand, but like I was saying, Brewdog will still have a presence no matter what. It's going to take something absolutely major and catastrophic for Brewdog to cease to exist. I mean, I think they'll go the same way as someone like Stone in terms of their presence. In fact, they've got pretty much a similar like framework as Stone. If you think about it, they've got the distribution links around the world. They've built up the reputation. They've got Stone have got like the Bistro and World Gardens. They've got in Berlin with a massive place in Berlin. Brewdog are now in Berlin as well as many of these other countries. So yeah, I think what hurts them is because they say that we're stick to our roots, we're postmodern, blah 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 blah. Whereas someone like Stone, I think they're a lot more open and like they can see themselves that, yeah, we're a bit big, but we still produce high quality products. And I think that's what people should be talking about. I think we're going to close this now because I've just not made any points whatsoever. But I think Brewdog should just take a step back with the whole marketing stuff, although I do find it entertaining. I do like seeing the videos that they produce on YouTube, and I like seeing when they've got a new beer out, the promotion that they do for it. But I think they should stop bigging themselves up as this like artisanal, like low-key sort of a craft brewer. Like Rob said, but I'm not going to hate them or stop supporting them because they do that, if that makes sense. Let me just see what other comments we've got, see if anybody else has added anything. And it's just a shame that these comments won't actually appear on the video at the end, so I think it's good for the people who are watching this who are leaving comments so they can have a little bit of discussion. I've got 6 people watching, so that's always a good thing. Let's see. I'll be just happy. Paul says, I'm just happy if Stone and Brewdog close their doors, not too upset about any of this crap. Exactly. I'd like to say that I'm in that camp, but I'm clearly not because I'm making a video about it. So I'm kind of like going against what I'm saying. But yeah, I don't know. I love the fact that they've become massive. Making many people aware of good beer comes at a cost. That's all. That comes from Doc Hendricks. I like that idea. Stone planned to open a hotel, but didn't. Comes from Rob. Brewdog were very much inspired by Stone. Exactly. Craig says Brewdog has been overtaken by so many breweries now in the UK. I would agree. I think the scene has evolved quite a fair bit, but I still think they've got a good stake in it, if that makes sense. The larger you tell people about you, the more people expect you to be what you say. Yep. The louder you, yeah, just read that. So you better not put the expectation too high. You can clearly tell that I'm a terrible reader when it comes to reading stuff fast. Let's see. I've just read that one. So yeah, what has this achieved? Absolutely fuck all. But I just wanted to get stuff off my mind. Excuse me. But I'm going to close on some of. Did I say I was going to close on something? I can't remember. I just wanted to say, I can't remember where I read this, and it goes back to something to the comment that Doc Hendricks said. I think one thing that Brewdog does right is they get people who wouldn't usually into this sort of thing. They expose them to their own beers, but at the same time, they also expose them to newer breweries for people in their bars and stuff with their guest lists, the collaborations, that sort of thing. I mean, we could go on for ages about some of the Brewdog bars, more specifically some of the people who work in these Brewdog bars. You know, fair enough. Most of them are students who are at university in that city, wherever the Brewdog bar is. But some of them just really don't have a passion for it. To them, it's just a job, which is fair enough. Yeah, they want to make a little bit of money. They want a steady little bit of income while they're studying. But I've found that as the years have progressed, the people who've worked in the Brewdog bars that I've been to are just there, which is, again, that's what the bar's there to do. It's to sell you beer. And I think we even discussed this when we were on the aftermath of our previous live review. You know, they're there to sell you a beer, and you're going to buy that beer. But I think that like interactive element that you get, or I used to get a lot from Brewdog bars, is starting to slowly fade. I used to be able to go into Brewdog bar, and I'd be like stood at the bar like, in an hour, blah blah blah, and then the person would like prompt me, "Do you want to have a little bit of a sample of some of the beers?" So I'm like, "Yeah, okay." And then we get talking about the beer itself, and then the person would say, "Oh, well, he or she, doesn't matter. If you like this beer, then let me recommend you this beer that we've just got imported, blah, blah, blah." And I like that sort of stuff. I'm not a sociable person. people annoy me. I don't like people. But when it's to do with like hobby or something that I love, I open up a little bit more. And I like that like conversation that I have. Yeah, sometimes you can tell that they're trying to sell you like this higher ticket beer that's like being imported from like America, that sort of thing. But at least they're giving you a little bit of a conversation. They're giving you that, it's going to sound so fucking cheesy, but they're giving you that sort of like memory of the bar. And every time I'm in Manchester, I go to the Brewdog bar. It's like a little tradition that I have. Because me and my dad, we go into Manchester, we go to a few of the pubs, a few of the bars, have stuff to eat, go to places like Piccadilly Records, that sort of thing. And we'll always start off in the Brewdog bar. And I'll make the most of what is available on the guest list. Because, yeah, it's either, if it's a limited release from Brewdog themselves, then I'm going to try that. Or if it's the guest list, I'm going to try that. Because I don't really need to try the core range unless I'm really in the mood for it when I'm at one of their bars. So I'll always go to places like that. And like I was saying at the start, I'm neither a massive fan of Brewdog nor am I a massive detractor of them. To me, they're another brewery. They produce beers that I like. And as long as I enjoy those beers, I'm going to still buy them. And yeah, I think a lot of people forget that they've created so many jobs with what they've done. Great career opportunities there. They've done a lot for the industry itself, I reckon. I mean, you just need to see the collaborations that they've done, in the unique collaborations from bar to bar, that sort of thing. The equity for punks thing, which I'm not a fan of the equity for punks when they were ramming it down your face on the cans and bottles and that sort of thing. But I think it's a good thing. It gives people who really want to get involved an actual stake in the company. And yeah, I'd probably be a bit pissed off with Brewdog if I was a shareholder. Don't get me wrong. But I'm not. I have no emotional or monetary connection long-term with Brewdog. But yeah, they've created, I think they've done a lot. But at the same time, I think they've had their time. And like the guys have been saying in the comments, the whole craft brewing scene all over the world, the industry itself has evolved and is always evolving. So even some of the biggest brewers, they're not in the limelight as much. But I think Brewdog are doing a lot of these business decisions so they can stay at least somewhat up to date with what's going on. And I think they've done it right. I think it's a good thing that they have taken over, or that they have had this injection of equity and being taken over, well, partially taken over. I think there have got to be compromises, obviously. But as far as I can see, they've not been dictated as to what they should do with their beers. I think that's all down to the brewery themselves. I could be completely wrong with that one. Like I said, I didn't want to really cite sources and say, oh, you should check out this article, or read paragraph 4 of this article, or hear this interview with James from Brewdog, blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, him and I can't remember the other guy, they've made, they're comfortable for the rest of their lives now. So people should be thankful that they're still actually brewing and they're not just fucked off with the money and gone into something else. I think it's refreshing that they're still at Brewdog, they're still in charge, and they're still making decisions. They're still doing things their own way. So they're sort of punk in that aspect, kind of, because I'm sure marketing do sort of nudge and tell them to go in this direction with certain stuff. But I think for the most part, they're still somewhat independent, but just not on a craft brewery level. And I don't know, I hate this whole notion of craft becomes macro is craft, that sort of thing. I don't buy into that sort of stuff. I mean, that for me, Augustiner, very traditional German brewery. And the Augustiner lager beer, I pick that beer over quite a lot of craft offerings because of its availability, because of its affordability, the fact that it's in a 500ml bottle, and the fact that it's good quality. So, yeah, going to read the comments one last time and see what the conversation's like. I wish that thing would fuck off. It's annoying. Let's see. Paul's left. Later, you sexy bastards. See you later, Paul. He also said, Brewdog should be more like Hooters. I wouldn't say no. If you like hipster, you can work here, even if you know fuck it. Yeah. Yeah, hipsterdom does have a hell of a lot to do with it. But again, I don't really hate hipsters because I probably fall under that. If being a hipster means I personally like good music, like good culture, good food and drink, then fuck yeah, I'm a hipster. Doc Hendrick says the manager of the Sheffield bar is an arsewipe. I've heard quite a few things that a few of the managers from around the world in Brewdog bars are a little bit arsey. Brewdog are great for guest beers, and the main reason I go to their bars. That's from Craig. I completely agree with that statement. But yeah, Brewdog aren't going to be hurt because I may decide at some point not to buy their beers and support their brewery. It's just, yeah, I think with my money, I don't pledge allegiance to the craft or to either side of the craft or the beer spectrum. I don't care if you're macro. I don't care if you're a guy brewing beer in a shed. If you make good beer, I'm gonna want to drink that beer a lot. So that's going to be my closing statement. And yeah, if anyone from Brewdog Berlin is watching this, I'd happily work for you guys. You know, just give me a job. I'll get the train over to Berlin, sleep on a floor. I'll do it. I'll happily do it. Where the fuck that came from? Unemployment. It makes you say some really stupid things at times. It's a good thing. Well, one of the very few good things about being out of work is that I get time to do every now and then something like this. But god damn, I could do with a job right now. It's really friggin' annoying. So yeah, Brewdog Berlin, if you're watching this, I'll happily take a job. Anyway, so thank you to everyone who's commented in the live stream. Apologies that I didn't get to everyone's comment or address. I probably missed out a lot of stuff, but everyone was making some great points. And I welcome people to comment on the broadcast, on the like post-broadcast. Give me your thoughts, opinions on this. Maybe I'll get some of the UK Beer Tuber guys and we'll actually have a proper discussion about this, get more viewpoints on camera, that sort of thing. But you know, with these, I'm just, even if I don't make sense, I'm just getting stuff off my mind, getting stuff off my chest. I'm just sick of fucking people whining, like genuinely whining, as if like their other half has been sleeping behind their back, that sort of thing. It's beer. If you're not in the industry and you're just a consumer, you shouldn't really be worrying about it too much. You should be conscious of it. You should be able to talk about it. But some of the knee-jerk reactions on social media that I'm seeing, I'm like, what are you, fucking 10? Are you even old enough to drink? Like, what the hell's up with you guys? But yeah, so yeah, hit me up in the comments. Feel free to go after me if you think I've really missed the mark on anything that I've said. I'm not going to delete comments. I'm going to listen to what you guys have got to say, and I will hopefully address them at some point. Yeah, and I hope the least that this has done, aside from wiping off my slate and getting off my mind, is that it's somewhat opened a discussion. So yeah, thank you guys for sitting through this. Thank you guys for wasting your time watching an overweight, almost albino just whine himself about people who whine. It's funny how it works out like that. And yeah, until the next rambly, ranty mess, I shall hopefully see you all later. And coffee's not bad. See you later, guys. And Brewdog Berlin, give me a call.